Welcome to Journal with Me plus your angel messages. Hello, everybody. It's 7:44 a.m. my time, an angel number. I decided to sleep in a little bit for this weekend, and probably for the rest of this 30-day challenge, I will be coming on a little later since my kids are now off for the rest of for this entire week for the United States Thanksgiving break, and busy schedule with doing different things with family. So I'll probably be coming on a little later. I know that might mean I miss some of you. It won't be this late Monday and Tuesday because I do have appointments and things to get to, but wanted to let you know that definitely today and tomorrow we're a little later and probably about midweek after. I do still have my live this Wednesday though, despite the Thanksgiving break, so I hope you'll join me there because we're going to be talking about being around family, even friends that have not gone through the similar spiritual awakening you've gone through. They don't view things the same as you, and a lot of times at this time of year we're around them, and it's kind of we're going to be talking about some tools and techniques to navigate that and be the one that holds the energy at a high vibrational space. Good morning, Leah. Good morning, Cecilian Frodite. Good morning, Heidi. Good morning, Shannon's Lotus Yoga. I love that. Oh, from Lavernia. Lovely. I love it. Thank you for being here. Lavernia is a really pretty area. So I'm not too far from you. I'm just north of San Antonio. So yeah, we're going to be pulling these angel cards like we do and starting with our journaling. But thank you for your patience with me starting a little later today. It's just going to be going with the flow here. But we are on day 23 of this 30-day journal with your angels and me. And if you are new here, welcome. You do not need this journal. You can use any journal you want. And also, just follow along at your own pace. The idea is just to show you how valuable it is to just take a few minutes to start your day this way, and then you have that valuable tool of hindsight while you create your own evidence of your connection with your spiritual team. So as always, I like to go straight to the next blank page that I have in my journal. And we'll go ahead and put the date here, which is the 23rd. And I like to always start off with a very intentional opening. Thank you, God, for today. So I say TGT, and then I say morning angels and guides, MAG. That way we're adding an extra layer of protection to our intentions about the energy we're connecting with and the highest vibrational beings. And before I come on here, I always say my prayer protection. If you want that, you can download it for free in the link below. So don't forget that I have a new freebie for all of you, my Mercury retrograde spread, because Mercury goes retrograde on Monday. I highly encourage you go ahead and grab that, download that free, and pull some of your own cards to get some clarity. But yeah, you can do it multiple times, so know that as well. Just getting a sip of my coffee here, getting a later start. Okay. So if you haven't already, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, I really appreciate it. And share this video with anybody. Of course, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And let's get started with the first message for today, which is what we use to set our pocket affirmation, which I almost forgot to do yesterday. Thank you, Heidi, again for reminding me. And this will set the tone. So actually, I'll say this. I know you already saw a little bit of it, but we're going to say, angels, what do I need to know right now? That's the first journaling prompt. Angels, what do I need to know right now? And of course, that's the prompt we've been using every day for this past week, just to let the cards do the talking. And of course, the cards are simply an extension of you. So we don't want to get too attached to what the cards say. They're meant just to be a guidance system or a direction, or I feel like my Capricorn rising is coming out here, but providing structure, right, with this. So that's why, we use the angel cards just to it's kind of like a shortcut, I guess, to get to the messages more quickly. And it also will bring in things you wouldn't have maybe picked up on because of certain situations. So the first card in case you already glanced at it, is the Chariot. So this card represents the recent past. It can still represent right now a little bit because it's so recent, but it is a card talking about the way that you have really shown willpower and you've really shown self-discipline with something that your heart wants. It also represents leaving something in the past, leaving things behind, moving on. I'm definitely noticing that huge moon in the background there, which is your intuition. And a lot of people interpret this card as basically having to guide those horses with your intuition, not necessarily with the reins. You can see the reins are kind of flowing all over the place there. So you've had to really use your intuition and have a lot of self-discipline and willpower with something. So write down whatever comes to mind for you with that, because this is something you're being, this is a great card. It's like a pat on the back from your spiritual team saying, yes, you are really stepping in to your self-discipline. And you're doing the work. I mean, you're here right now doing the work. And it's fun work, right? I like to say whistle while you work because, this is part of the spiritual work is being consistent, writing things down, intentionally connecting, and of course, keeping track of what you get so you can use that powerful gift of hindsight. All right, so we're going to do a pocket affirmation, and I really feel like because of this moon standing out so much, it needs to be something around, our intuition and the fact that we've been trusting it. So we're going to go with a simple one today, and we're going to say, I am highly intuitive. So if you'd like to write that in the comments below, feel free. I am highly intuitive is today's pocket affirmation. Of course, you can use it anytime, but this is part of the other thing that I'm always wanting to remind you is to give yourself credit for when you trusted your intuition. Sometimes we tend to be hard on ourselves and say, oh, I missed the sign, or oh, I didn't listen. I knew my angels were telling me this, or my guides were telling me that, and I didn't listen. And then we get hard on ourselves. And really, our spiritual team wants us to simply learn from it, not be hard on ourselves, but simply learn from it. And then when you do have the opportunity to really use your intuition and you use self-discipline and willpower to move on from something, they want you to really celebrate it, right? Excuse me. Still waking up. Clear my throat here. So this is part of the celebration, is affirming how intuitive you are. So I recommend doing that. And I also just got another message that for some of us watching this right now and maybe even later on the recording, that it did take a lot of willpower for you to follow your intuition. There was something that you had to make a decision about, you had to have a conversation about, you had to make a change to. So we'll come back to that in a minute after we remember to fill in our routine record, but we're going to use some hindsight too to pull in messages about this recent past card because I am getting more coming through. So if you have your own routine you track in your moods, you can flip to that part of your journal. I do this every day to remind me to do the healthy things. And I did have a lot of luck getting to bed early last night, even though it was a Friday. It doesn't always happen on the weekends, but it did last night. And I want to track my moods. Yesterday, I was just going with the flow. It felt good. I felt both productive and joyful. I think in the morning it was more of a like, okay, let's check things off. Let's get things done. So I'm going to say productive in the morning. So I use green for that mood. And then we have the, did I already? Yeah, I'm on the right one. No, did I not fill out my color yesterday? I forgot the pocket affirmation until the end, and then I didn't even fill out the moods, did I? Because I know the last 2 mornings I did feel, yeah, because we're on the 23rd. I forgot to fill out my mood key yesterday. I know I felt productive on Thursday. I think I just didn't color it in. So I'm going to put green for both on Thursday. But by yesterday, I was definitely feeling, by the afternoon, I was starting to feel that Christmas spirit. I think because, Sagittarius was finally at 1 degree, so it's a little more fun than 0 degrees of anything. Good morning, Melissa. Good to see you here. So I'm going to say joyful. I do pink for joyful because it's a Friday afternoon. The kids were coming home in a great mood because they have a week off for Thanksgiving. They have plans with friends this weekend. My youngest one she's never up this early, but she's up because she's like, when are we going to get my friend? It's like, we have stuff to do first. And of course, I've been doing the little glyph for where the moon is, just to show you if you do want to track your moods with the waning moon, waxing moon, or whatever, or if you want to track by sign like I'm doing here where I have it in Virgo. I'm also tracking this energy of Mars and Leo because I tracked Mars in Cancer last month, and it was really, really interesting. Since I have Sun and Venus in Cancer, my husband has Mars in Cancer, it was just really fascinating to track that energy since we're going to be coming back to it. And then I do, and that is because Mars will be going retrograde in December. So I always check my evergreen calendar for any big transits. There's not much that I put on here. There were things in my personal chart, but I don't know. I just noticed I only put the real big things on here. Like I was so excited for Pluto and Aquarius, so that took up most of the square there. So I always just glance at this because again, we're using hindsight. That's part of all this is getting used to having things in your calendar, just like, let's say you got a job offer out of the blue, you would put that in here, right? So that then you could come back a month or a year from now and look at what other aspects are going on, look at what other signs you've been getting and angel cards, right? So let's get back to the messages for now and see if we can use some hindsight to get a little more clarity for this Chariot card. So we're going back to our place where we have our journal entry. I'm going to write that we put this first card as the Chariot card that we got, which represents the recent past. And again, it was really standing out to me that self-discipline and willpower were something we've used to handle some situations recently, and we're being applauded for that by our spiritual team. So let's use a little hindsight for that. The last couple of days, we've gotten this Page of Air card about, it was so fascinating the way 2 days ago it came up in the near future, which would be later that day or the next day. And then yesterday it came up as the present card, right? So the energy just flows along and not much had changed. And so this meant that we might get some information that would cause us to have to change our plans or rethink things. And the goal was to really focus on that you have the seeds planted that you need. Go ahead and make long-term plans and don't get caught up in worry about any changes coming up on the horizon. However, the guidance was also to be very curious if somebody comes in with new information, and just trust that it's temporary, whatever delays these are or changes. But it is going to take that self-discipline and willpower to stand in your beliefs. So that was another big piece of guidance we were getting all week, to use that hindsight to really trust where you're headed. And this Chariot card is a huge sign that you did that. You trusted your guidance, you trusted your intuition, you trusted the path you're on, and you've stayed disciplined about showing up every day and connecting with your team. So congrats on that. Good morning, Paul. More snow, 10 inches more snow. Wow. Sounds like a beautiful white winter. So we have that first card there that I think is really affirming for the work you've been doing. And of course, if anything else came through for you, when you were listening to that guidance. Please write that down as well as your own intuition bringing information in for you. Yesterday when we had the card, which one was it? There was one that, Two of Earth maybe. I was saying, if somebody comes to mind, if a person's face flashes in your mind, or you think about a person when you get that card, that's a good sign that this has to do with that person. Not always, but that's why I would encourage you to write it down, because you might find out in a couple of days if that's the case. All right, so this next card is going to represent the present energy. Good morning, Truth or Fears. Good to see you here. So the second card represents right now, at the time you are hearing these messages, live or recorded. And this really helps us get a heads up for the day. And again, we have this, don't give up. So 9 of Fire. I love this card. It's very empowering. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. So again, when we're pairing this with the Chariot card, it could be that you've chosen to leave something behind and you got pushback. Somebody said to you, I don't want you to do that. I don't like that. That's not how I want this to be done. And you had to really use that self-discipline and willpower to keep going in the direction you want. And now the angels are encouraging you, keep up with that strength, that inner strength there. I love this card coming after this. And in strengthening your intuition, right? Because we have that that affirmation for today, I am highly intuitive. So keep trusting your intuition, keep practicing, working with it, asking your team for loud and clear signs. That will be what brings in the even more strength, right? Because remember, we have this spiritual team. They want to help us. And any other guidance you want to add to that will only bring clarity. So I encourage you to do it. Again, if you didn't get my free Mercury retrograde angel card spread, please grab that. And if you have some time this weekend to do it, I'll probably do it again on the Mercury retrograde day, Monday, and maybe even 1 or 2 more times throughout. But I already did it last Tuesday to give me a heads up for the energy, and it was very helpful. I actually did plan some things based on the guidance I got from that. And so that's what's so powerful about doing it. So now we have the card coming up, and of course we'll do the 2 clarification cards about actions to take in just a moment. But first, let's pull the near future card, which, of course, is, could be later on this afternoon, tonight, or tomorrow. As we saw yesterday, the near future card ended up being the next day, but it could have been earlier for some of you, right? By the way, how's everybody doing today? Did you have any powerful dreams last night? How are you feeling with this energy? I know for me, when Pluto went into Aquarius, I felt this huge sigh of relief. But then the next 2 days, at least 2 or 3 times, I started to feel like I was getting sick. Just kind of run down and aching. I was like, uh-oh, what's going on? And I took my homeopathic remedies. I drank more water. I slowed down. I went to bed early, and I was fine. But I think it was still kind of like some stuff getting cleared out, those final degrees of Scorpio. And then definitely moving into Sagittarius. I like it being at step 1 today. This feels good. All right, the next card is, and this is the near future, later today or tomorrow. Queen of Fire, beautiful energy. This is the Queen of Wands, and this energy is so amazing, confident, warm, intelligent, graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. Oh, wow. Wow, this is beautiful. Truth or Fear says, yeah, at the moment I'm okay. That's good. It's like kind of have to say, well, maybe neutral at the moment, but I've got this guidance coming through for here about the new future is to near future is to definitely do something creative this weekend if you can, because that's going to really help. If you've seen my videos, the lives I've done with Chris Reck from Minnow Pontero, he talks about the Queen of Wands, which is basically what this is, being where all you have to do is wave that magic wand and you get whatever you want. So you have to trust that, you know, this is available to you. Right? Truth or Fears? I know. It's a beautiful reminder. And when you put it together with the cards we just pulled, right? It's a really loud and clear sign that we have everything we need. I'll just move this a little so you can see it. Yes, waving the wand this weekend. There you go. Getting creative. You know, there's so many like holiday crafts that can be done from Dollar Tree inexpensively. There are so many, you know, writing or singing or moving your body ways that we can do things to be creative. And so when you pull these cards together, and like I said, we are going to clarify in a moment with actions, they want you to give yourself credit for your willpower and using your intuition. And they want to really encourage you not to give up because you're headed in the right direction. You just have to believe in yourself. And this card, which is again near future, later today, tomorrow, next 48 hours, is saying, wave that magic wand, get creative, stretch your wings and fly. I mean, this is a wonderful energy to kick off this weekend and pull us out of any energies that feel stuck or dense, right? Move your body, get out there. Like our friend from Lavernia has a yoga studio that's amazing. Get some yoga in today. You know, so these are things that can be so supportive of you just following your intuition today. If you just suddenly get the inspiration to drive to a part of town you've never been to before to check it out, or call up a friend and ask them out for coffee, you know, listen to your intuition. There's a lot of magic available. And, you know, last weekend we were getting a lot of guidance around taking things off your to-do list or your calendar and do self-discovery. And this seems to have caused all of us here watching now or later to really stand in our power and be disciplined about moving away from something that's not serving us and towards something that is. So good job on the work you've done, the self-discovery, the extra journaling, and let's now focus on the strength it took to move ahead and let's use it to fly. And I mean, this is 2 cards of flying. So this is awesome energy. I love this so much. So now we'll move on to our next journaling prompt, which is, angels, what actions do I take? Oh, I keep forgetting to write the cards. I'll just draw a heart around that. This is where, for those of you who want everything to be perfect, you can buy washi tape or stickers, or you can just doodle over any mess ups. So the second card, so I have it for hindsight, is 9 of Fire. And I'm just really getting that don't give up energy. That's the present energy, right? And then the third card for the near future, Queen of Fire, is definitely assert your independence and creativity. All right, so now we're going to say, angels, what actions do I take now? And we'll pull 2 cards for clarification so we can feel supported in whatever we choose to do with our next few days, right? So the first card I got for what actions do I take now, which will also bring clarity to these cards, is release. Archangel Azrael, the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. So Archangel Azrael is associated with the angel of death who helps those transition out of their body, but it's a much more gentle energy. It's the idea that, this is a very loving end of a phase and an opportunity for something new. Exactly. Release truth or fears. This is an angel that will work with you through grief, who will work with you through big changes and transformations. And, I've often said that we feel grief in the strangest ways sometimes. You might be so ready to leave a job or a neighborhood or whatever, but there's still things that happen there that you carry with you, and you might occasionally have grief bubble up over leaving that behind because it's an ending, and that's okay. So the guidance is to allow that, but then we're going to get more guidance on what to do. But I just find it fascinating that we're getting this release card to clarify this Chariot card. And this is saying recently we have chosen to use self-discipline and move on from something. And right now it's saying just trust that it's time to move on. It really is. And you may have to release some emotions that come up for you. You may have to release some ties to things. This is kind of, we'll get this card sometimes with relationships that they've just come to the end of their phase. It's a relationship that was for a season or for a reason, and it's time to let that go. Leah says, planning an estate sale to sell a lot of my dad's stuff. Release. Wow. Yes, that's powerful, Leah. Very powerful. And that will bring a shift in the energy, won't it? So again, that's what they're really reminding us, that the power comes from that release. So I'm going to write that down as my first clarification card, or action to take is release. And I am really getting the time to move on card. And then we will get another clarification card here. And, Heidi says, thinking of you today, Leah, and Truth and Fear is very sweet. I love that we get to all chat with each other every day. Thank you for being here. So I hope you all have some things planned for this weekend that will give you time to be creative. Again, anything small, even if it's just grabbing a pen and doing some doodling in your journal with some really high vibrational music. Got your candle, get out any crystals you have around you, or do something really relaxing for yourself, like a nice salt bath, or going for a nature walk. One of the things, if I know where Paul is, it's too cold, but if you can go outside with your bare feet on the ground for a little bit and really ground in the energy to draw on this personal power, that can be really beneficial as well. So let's pull another card for clarification and to see what actions we can take along with this release card. Wow. The High Priestess. This is the card of intuition. Archangel Haniel. Listen to your intuition. Have patience. Consider carefully what you want before acting. That is very interesting. Since we got that card with this release card and this very first card, our pocket affirmation today was, I am highly intuitive. We are being asked to really ground ourselves and check in with our intuition as we release things. So consider carefully what you want before acting. This card is a card that will come through when maybe you're making a choice for what you think is one reason when it's really another reason. So the example that always comes to mind for me is back in, I I think it was like 2007. I thought I wanted to go to graduate school. I'd already had my small business consulting practice. I got my degree in accounting and business administration. And I thought I wanted to go to graduate school, and I was making all these plans to sell my home, that I was able to have my horse there with me because had some land. And, I really thought I was wanting to sell the home because I wanted to go to graduate school. But when I really got down to the bottom of it, I just didn't feel like I belonged in that area anymore. And I really wanted to change. I wanted to live in a different part of the state. I wanted to get out of the energy in that area. And actually, just through having a lot of conversations with family, I got to the bottom of it. It's like, well, what is it that you really want? Oh, I want to sell my place. And I thought I would never sell it. It was what I thought was my dream place because I had my horse there with me. But once I admitted to myself that actually what I really want is to move, it's not that I want to go back to grad school, it's that I want to move. And going back to grad school was going to force the move versus just choosing to move. Once I sold the house and moved, I lost all interest in graduate school, and I actually started doing much better with my consulting business because I felt free. I felt I had released those things. So it's kind of a complicated story, but it's always the one that comes to mind with, why do you think you're leaving that job, or why do you think you're starting that business? And go deeper. Are you really doing it because you want to do that as a business, or are you trying to break yourself free from something and you just haven't been willing to admit it to yourself? So that's the biggest message I'm getting for all of us here, is just stand in that power, be independent, wave that wand to get what your heart wants. Just be clear about why you're doing it. What is it that you really want, right? Because I do see people sometimes run out and start a business because they think that that's what they want, when maybe it's that they just wanted more recognition for their creativity. Maybe they were feeling ignored in a partnership. They're not feeling independent. They're feeling codependent. So those are examples there too of where maybe there might be something you're holding on to for the wrong reason. And if you really consider what you want, you'll realize, oh, it's a lot easier to sell my house when I know that that's what I really want versus, oh, I have to sell my house because I'm going to go to school 2 hours away, right? So I hope that brings clarity for all of you, because I do feel like this is really supportive energy to get creative today, do things that really help raise your vibration, help you get into that divine flow that we love. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you all for being here. Remember, take time every day to connect with the angels.